Hello and welcome guys, I'm Sam from Ellie Rose Party Designs and welcome to today's video. So today's video there's going to be two parts to this video. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make custom chip bag printables. So ones that you can make yourself and you can print out and you can assemble yourself. And the template that I'm going to be using is a template that will be offered for free to my members who have already enrolled in my e-course, Design Party Printables the Easy Way. For those of you that haven't enrolled, that's perfectly okay. You guys can still buy this template from my Etsy store. Alright, and that is linked down below where you can find the template. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these printables in two different softwares. I'm going to be showing you how to make it in your Silhouette Cameo, because as most of you who follow me on YouTube know that I use Silhouette Studio as my software of choice when designing my printables. I also use Photoshop, but I find Photoshop is maybe a little bit too advanced for most people, so the next best option is how to do it in the Silhouette Studio software. And then in the second video I'm going to be showing you how to make it in PicMonkey. Okay, but for those of you that aren't a member in PicMonkey, that's perfectly okay. Just follow these steps and you will definitely get some sort of idea on how to make these. The template that I will be offering you, let me just say, is you can use it in Word, you can use it in Canva, you can use it in, I'm just trying to think where else. You can use it also in Photoshop if you are familiar with Photoshop, but it is not, you don't have to use it in there. Okay, so Silhouette Studio, for those of you that don't know what it is, Silhouette Studio or Silhouette Cameo is a cutting machine that some craft members have, and the software that you use in order to cut out your templates is the software that you see in front of you. Okay, this is a free software that you can download, so don't feel like you need the cutting machine in order to use the software. So the software is free to use. Okay, so I'll link down below where you can actually download the software. Now, okay, so let's get started. Alright, okay, so the first thing that we need to do is to set up our page. So on the right hand side here you would click onto the panel that says page setup, and you would make sure that you are either in the letter size or in the A4 size, which is there. So in Australia we use A4 paper, in America you guys use the letter size. So for this tutorial we're going to be using the letter size. The next thing you would need to do is to change the orientation to landscape. Okay, so because when you print it out you're going to be printing it out in landscape size. Alright, and we're not going to worry about anything else, so we can now close it. What you can do is take off the grids if you want to, but we're not going to do that because we actually need to use them to line up. Alright, before we get started in the design process, I just wanted to go through a few different things. So where I get most of my clip arts and let me actually go into it for you guys. So in order to do your design, you need to have some sort of clip art and also some digital wallpaper. Alright, so once you've picked your theme that you want, I normally would go into, if I haven't already got the template, or the clip art, I would go into either Etsy or the Hungry JPEG. So these are my favorite ones. The Hungry JPEG, which I'll show you too. So these are my two favorite sites that I like to go and get most of my digital products from. Alright, so once I have got a particular theme, so in this particular video I'm going to be doing a bee theme. Okay, so all you need to do is to go in here and okay, so I am going to go bee clip art and we'll see what comes up. Alright, so there's a whole bunch of different designs of clip art and wallpaper. What's great is that some of them do offer wallpaper too, and I will, if you don't know what wallpaper is, I will go into a little more detail as to what wallpaper is, or digital paper should I say. Okay, so there are so many different shops that have clip art, so you would just need to pick your theme and then go in here and see what you can find. So they'll range from prices from, you know, $1.56. Don't forget this is Australian dollars, so yours will be slightly different to mine, all the way up to say $7.40. Okay, so it's really up to you if you're wanting to get something from a online store, or if you're getting it from Google, wherever. Okay, and this is the other one that I highly recommend. Okay, if we go B clip art, let's see what comes up. I apologize if you hear the kids in the background. Alright, so here's a beautiful one here, $3. She's got beautiful stuff. I love her stuff. Yeah, see, so there is heaps and heaps and heaps of different. Okay, so those are the two ones I like to use. I will link that down below the video too, so you can click onto it and check it out. Alright, let's go back in. So once you have got your clip art, I like to make a folder of all the clip art that I want to use, and my clip art I've just saved onto my desktop, and here it is here, and there. Those are the, I'm only going to be using four different clip art. So this is what you call the digital wallpaper, okay, that I'm going to be using. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, once you have located your clip art and your digital paper that you want to use, the next best thing is to save it into your library, okay, which will go on the top right hand corner here. You would then make yourself a folder, so I would right click add new folder, but I've already got my folder and there it is there. So all you would need to do is to grab your clip art and then drag it into here. So all you would do is just drag and release. Okay, and there is my clip art that I'm going to be using. So let's go back into the design. The next thing I would do is to add my shape. Okay, so I've clicked onto the rectangle shape, and all I've done is left click and drag all the way over the whole paper. The next thing I would do then is to click onto it. The most important thing is that you actually have highlighted it and you've clicked onto it. Okay, I would then go back into my library and I'm going to double click onto the digital paper. Alright, so it looks like you haven't done anything, but you actually have. You go back into here and voila, there we go. So now my paper is filled with the design that I am wanting. Okay, but I am wanting to change the border. You see how it's red there? Now if you print this out, it's probably not going to show up, but I still like to change it to the correct color. So I would go to the right hand side here and click on the lines style panel. I would then click onto here and I would use my little Doppler tool and click onto the yellow. That way it then matches. Okay, that's the first thing I would do, and then you can click off it. Okay, the next thing I would recommend doing is going to your area where you have downloaded all the templates that I have offered in this class. Okay, find out where it is. So mine are all here. Okay, so this is where I have got all my templates. So I'll just go through some of it with you. So you have your barcode, which is standard in a chip bag. This is just a little mock-up that I've done for you guys, and then you have your little crimped at the top and at the bottom, and you have your folded guidelines. Sorry, I was meant to say guidelines at the top and the bottom. Then you have your fold guides on left and right, your glue here, and this you probably won't use, but I've just got it there. Your nutrition, and then I've got your fold guidelines as all of them, which I thought would be a little bit more easier for you to use than to use them separate from this one and this one. Okay, so the next best thing I would do is to take my folder guide all go on here. I wouldn't go over the template, because if you go over the template, you see how it then just pretty much takes over the design. So I would bring it in on the side here. Okay, now I have it set so it is exactly to a letter size paper. So all you need to do is to drag it, and I want you to make sure that it falls on exactly, if you have a look on the right hand side here, you can see how it's got your little guides, and it's got your guides at the top here, your rulers. You want to make sure that, let me just drag it back off, that this part here, which is your top folded line, this is how you're going to know if it matches up, alright, is on exactly 1 inch. Okay, so we're going to take it and we're going to drag it back on here, and that's back up there to there. Alright, so then when you click over here, you can see that it is on exactly 1 inch at the top and 1 inch at the bottom. And then over here, I have it set so that it is, I believe, 2.7 inches by 8.28. Okay, yeah. Alright, and then those are your guidelines that are going to help you. Now, for some reason, you can't really see this one because it's obviously over the black area. What I like to do is to hover over everything, highlight everything, and I want to group it together. So, which means that everything is now one piece. Okay, and this will make it a little bit easier when adding your goodies. Okay, so now that we have our guidelines, we are now going to go ahead and start designing our template. Alright, so what I like to do is on the top and the bottom, I like to have a different color to what my design is going to be in the center, and that way it kind of stands out a lot more. Okay, alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to add in my little my folded template, my folded design at the top. So you've got your little guides here, which are also your fold lines too. Alright, so we're going to go here, and I'm going to click onto the rectangle, and I'm going to make a different design on top. And go to there, and I'm going to do the same at the bottom. If I can find my area, there it is there, and all the way across and down. Okay, now the reason why it came up black is that I had already got it set. So what you would do is you do the exact same thing. You would click off it, click back onto it, go into your fill area and change the color there. Okay, and then you would just change your lines at the bottom, your lines around the actual shape too. Alright, the next thing I want to do is just bring that back in there, and that sounds fine, and that seems fine too. Okay, so now you don't really have to worry about those fold lines across there because you have already got this shape in there. Alright, the next thing I would do is to highlight all of that, and let's group that together. Okay, so now it's starting to look a little bit more like a chip bag. The next thing I would do is to go back into where you've saved all your templates, and I'm going to bring in the little crumple part. Now once again, you do it on the side. Okay, and let's bring it in. There it is there. Okay, and let's bring that. Actually, let me just change this. It looks like it's not going to match up. There we go. That looks a bit better. And then on that side, yeah. Alright, so let's just highlight all of this again and group it, and let's bring in just about there. Perfect. Okay, now let's bring in the top crimp part, which is there. Go to the side, bring it in, and let's bring it in over here too. Make sure it lines up. And down. Perfect. Now let's select it all and group it all together. So now it is one piece again. Okay. Now it's definitely looking nice. Now it's pretty much just a matter of designing it. So I like to add in all the template elements first, and then I will bring in the my clip art. That way I can kind of know exactly where I want everything. Alright, so let's go back into here, and now I want to bring in my barcode. Okay, Now we're going to shrink the barcode down, and I want my barcode on the left hand side. It's on the right hand side, but when you actually put it together, remember it will be on the left hand side. Okay, and it says happy birthday. Alright, and then I'm going to bring my nutrition label, bring that to the side. Wow, it's huge. I didn't realize my file was that big. Okay. And let's bring that right down. And let's insert that. Okay, and put that about there. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. So let's hover over everything and group it together. So once again, the reason why I group it together is so it makes it a lot easier for you when you're adding in your clip art and that things don't move around. It all is one template that you're using. Alright, so now we can start adding in our little elements in that. So what I am wanting is like a frame, and you can probably find these in the Silhouette store. You can find them in Etsy, you can find them in the JPEG. So you would need to find something that is either a JPEG file or even Google, sorry. You need to find a JPEG file or a PNG file. Okay, so I'm just in my templates and shapes area here, and I've actually got quite a few that I've purchased over a long period of time. And I'm going to be using, let's have a look here. I think I'm going to use, I think I might go ahead and use this one. Alright, so let's right click it, and it's brought it into another area. Now this is a JPEG file, and it's actually already got a border around it. Alright, so now I want to remove that white border, because ideally if you had to right click, copy and paste this in here, you see how it's a white border, which we don't want. Okay, so we want the actual frame, we just don't want the white border. So all you would need to do is, if you don't know how to do this, you just go into the trace panel, select trace area, we're going to left click and drag over a whole image, make sure that the whole image is completely covered, and you would make sure that the threshold is at an area where everything is highlighted in yellow. Alright, I'm going to hit trace and detach, remove that off, click onto the, highlight all of this and delete that, and there is my image. Okay, I'm going to also right click, cut, and let's bring this in here. Okay, now let's turn it around, and we want to make sure that it is exactly straight. Whoopsie. Alright, and I want to bring it down. Now I want to probably change the color. I want to change the color to white. Alright, so all I need to do is to go here, and we're going to change it to white. Okay, and let's bring that in there. Just make it slightly bigger. And once again, you're using it within the folded lines, because this area here is going to be the front of your actual chip bag. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is, let's make I want to actually make a, just trying to think. Okay, yes, I know what we're going to do. We are going to make this, keep this black, sorry. Alright, then I'm going to do an offset. Alright, and I want the offset to be around, say, 50. Okay, and I want to change the offset to white, and the lines, we need to keep it white. Alright, like that there. Okay, I now want to also do, going on here, let's just delete that, bring that back in together. Alright, let's do an internal offset, and I want to make that white. See? White, come on, white, and let's change the color to white. That way when we add you in, you've got a bit of a cute little design. Okay, but in saying that, let's just move this here, close you off, highlight all of that, I then want to bring it together and like that. Alright, and then we're going to group it together and let's bring you in. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like. I think it looks quite cute. Alright, so another thing that I'm wanting to do is I am going to make a little bit of from here to about there. Alright, and let's just bring you up to about there so that we know that it's in the center. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to send that backwards. Alright, but I want to change the, alright, so like that there. So now remember, you're picturing that this is going to be folded. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do is bring in Circle Part. So let's bring in, let's go to our B section, which is right here, and I want to bring in our little B. Alright, now this is a PNG file. So you see how there is nothing, it's a transparent background. So that's what you want. You want something that is a PNG file. So let's cut and let's bring you in. Alright, and let's bring you all, whoopsie. Let's bring you all the way down. Alright, like that. Maybe make you slightly bigger. Alright, and then I want to add in some more little elements like this one here. Let's right click it, cut it, and paste that in there, and it's going to be like a little bead. Okay, so you bring in your little zigzaggy thing, and then I just want to bring that, send that backwards to about there. Okay, now I'm going to add in my fonts. Alright, so it's super quick and easy to make. Once you've got the template down packed, then you know the rest is fairly easy. Okay, so let's go into our fonts, and then let's just delete all of this stuff here. So we've got a nice clean slate. Okay, so I would go into, I would click onto fonts, and then you'll go on the right hand side here and click fonts. Now I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fonts that you probably might not have, because I download quite a lot of it because I need it for a lot of different designs. Okay, so if there's something that I'm using that you haven't used, just go for something else if you want to. Alright, so I'm just going to pick whatever that I think will look quite cute. I think this little blossom one will look quite cute. Okay, and I'm just going to pop in, say, Ellie. Alright, let's change the colour to black. And let's drag you in here. And let's make you slightly bigger. Okay, and let's go back into our fonts, and fonts here, and let's see what else we can use. I'm going to use this one here. It's one of my favourite fonts. Okay, we're going to use Forth. Once again, change the lines to the, let's make sure it's highlighted. I'm going to change this one to the same font. There. And let's move you down. And I actually want to change the colour of this. Let's change the colour to this yellow. Alright, so let's just make that the same colour. And then I'm just going to right click the duplicate, and I'm going to highlight it, and I'm just going to write TH. Okay, and make that a little smaller. Right, let's just bring that like that. change to whichever font you want, but I'm just going with birthday. Okay, and let's change that color also to the same. Oops. Bring it down, bring you in here. Let's just make maybe you slightly smaller, bring you up here. Okay, then maybe take you, bring you like that there. Okay, so that's looking pretty cute. I like that. Alright, so I'm just going to highlight all of that and I'm going to group that together so that it is once again one page and that it doesn't move around. And the last little bit that I need to do is something on the left hand side over here. Okay, so I might just put thanks for coming to my party. Alright, and I'm going to stick with the same font. Now once again you pick whichever font you want, but I'm just going to use that font there. Okay, and I'm going to put here thanks for, just move you out of the way, thanks for coming to my party. Alright, and I might just make that one line like that. And let's just take you off there and change that to that. Now, I think what should be quite nice is maybe changing this color to a white, it stands out. And let's do the border around it, maybe this nice blue. Okay, but let's make, if you hit advanced mode, alright, let's just see what that does. Okay, let's bring you in. Alright, first thing I would do is to go back into your font section and I want to bring it to the center. The next thing is the line spacing. Let's bring the line spacing like that and let's drag you further down like so. Okay, next thing I would probably do is let's do some type of offset. Okay, but I'm going to make the offset like a very small offset, like 20. Alright, and then that's where I'm going to add in that beautiful little blue. Alright, so let's see how that looks much better. Okay, but what we can do maybe is, let's just drag it to the side. Let's just group that together so we don't lose it. And then let's go back into our fonts and I'm just going to make the spacing, hang on, what just happened? I thought I grouped it all together. Did I not group it? Oh, I did. So why is it doing that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you need to do it before you group it together. And before you do your offset, but it doesn't matter. Anyhow, let's just drag it back on here. Just thought it might look a little bit better with it spaced out slightly, but it still looks pretty good. Okay, thanks for coming to my party. And then I want to add in one little thing, one little design, and then let's right click, cut that, paste, and let's bring you down and let's move you around, so there. Okay, you could probably change that, in fact let's just do that. Let's just go to there. Alright, let's just move that. Whoopsie, goodness me, it's not happening. Alright, let's grab that and I want to change that blue to this blue here. I think that's a much more vibrant blue. Okay, and then let's change the there. Let's bring you back in there. And let's bring it back in. There we go. Highlight it, group it back together. Let's bring you back over here. And let's bring you in there. I think that's, yeah, much better. Okay, and then let's highlight everything and group that together. Now we have our whole template. Okay, so and what you can also do if you wanted to is add a little something there too. Okay, but I'm just going to keep it like that because don't forget when those are folded, it will, those two pieces will be together. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention too is that you can add in, into my templates. So if you're doing this for somebody and they have to design and they have to do all the prepping and assembling themselves, then you can add this in here if you want to. Okay, so you can show them exactly where they need to glue. Alright, now I like to glue mine on the other side. Alright, so you can hit, you can put glue, which is also part of the pack too. Okay, glue here. Alright, this is probably something you would want to put on before you add all of this here. Only because then you know exactly how much space you have and you don't have this thing here. But I don't like using it because it does take up a bit of space. But if you're wanting to add it to make it look a little more professional, because this is something that someone's paid you to make, whatever it will be, you can add that too, and it is a part of the template bundle. Okay, but we're not going to for this one. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is to print out a design. But before we print it out, let's just save it, okay? Save as, and we want to save it to our library. Okay, and then I'm going to save it under these, and I like to make a separate folder underneath that, and I put customers. Now, this is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way. And then I'm just going to name it the chip bag template. And there we go. So now I've saved it. Alright, so that's the most important thing. Then I'm going to go right click and I'm either going to print it straight away. So set up your printer and print it straight away. Or what I like to do is to hit print, and I actually have, if you've got a Microsoft, if you're working on a Microsoft computer, if you go into the settings of print, you'll see that they actually have Microsoft Print to PDF. And then I am going to hit that. And then I'm just going to save this on my desktop. The chip bag, and you can save this wherever you want to. And it's actually going to save your template as a PDF, which is a great way to send to somebody else. Or you can, and then from a PDF, you can then convert it into a JPEG if you wanted to. Okay, so if you're wanting to get this printed at a printing shop, they do prefer a PDF document and a JPEG document, so it's a lot easier to convert from a PDF to a JPEG. What Silhouette doesn't do is it doesn't allow you to export this file any other format besides an SVG file, okay, or a Silhouette file, shall I say. Alright, so then back here and let's have a look now and see what it looks like. And there it is, guys. So all you would do then is print it out and you would fold it. You won't need to crimp it because it's already got these little crimp things, and glue it together and add in any of your party favors inside your chip bag. Or just add chips. That's what a chip bag is, I suppose. Alright, and that is it. So it is super easy and super quick to make. This probably took me a little bit longer than it would normally take, but it is, once you know the basics on how to do it, it is very easy. So like I said, you don't need to use Photoshop or any of those other complicated softwares. You can use this free online software. Well, it's not online, but it's a free software you can download from online and use that. Alright, and then you don't really need to cut anything because you have saved it as the size of your paper. Okay, so yeah, that is it. So then what I would normally do is I would then use this as a template and I would sell this template on Etsy. Okay, so it's very easy to sell and make money off your designs. You don't need to have Photoshop to be able to sell designs in your Etsy shop.